Golazo Thursday. Last night's action, including Coppa Italia, as Andrea Pirlo wins his first trophy with Juventus. Mauricio Pochettino wins with PSG in the Coupe de France against Monaco, with Premier League as Liverpool in the driver's seat in a top 4 spot. We got Jimmy Conrad to recap all the action, and we discuss what happens this weekend, including Tottenham and Harry Kane. This and much, much more. Qué Golazo Thursday begins right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Qué Golazo. This is our Thursday show. Jimmy Conrad, Jimmy. Oh, look at that. Happy birthday, Andrea Pirlo from yesterday. Andrea Pirlo. I love that little poster. If you're watching on YouTube, Jimmy's putting it up. Hey, Jimmy, a good one for him, huh? How are you?
Yeah, I'm amazing. Happy birthday to the maestro himself, Andrea Pirlo. I know it was yesterday, as you mentioned, but this was a big birthday present for him. And congratulations to our Lord and Savior. At least he's my Lord and Savior. I worshipped him as a player, and I want to worship him as a manager, but he hasn't really been doing enough to warrant that consideration. However, he did win his second trophy for the club after winning the Super Coppa Italia. Now he's got the Coppa Italia under his belt. The first time the club's actually won it with Cristiano Ronaldo there as well. And now they have a big game this weekend. We'll see if they can keep that good momentum going. However, the team they just beat, Atalanta, Luis, needs to do them a favor by beating AC Milan this weekend so they can qualify for the top 4. So a lot of intrigue going on in Serie A.
There's a lot going on, and we will discuss it all, everybody. So this is how it goes down. We will recap last night's action. We'll take a little break, and then we will discuss, because, today the matches aren't, there's nothing really going on in terms of what we want to discuss. No disrespect to all games that are happening on Thursday. But in terms of Europe and what's happening in the weekend, we'll have a discussion on what's looking ahead in the weekend and what we can expect. So let's begin from Wednesday night. Let's talk, Jimmy, first with Liverpool, though. Okay. Yes. I'm mad, Jimmy, because we both said 2-0 maybe, and then they got that third goal. But Liverpool in the driver's seat, 3-0 against Burnley, and they're in a Champions League spot as we speak. Thoughts on that?
It's incredible. I really think it's one of the greatest achievements, managerial achievements of Jurgen Klopp's career. I really do. That might sound a little overdramatic, but I just think given everything that they've gone through, both on and off the field, and him personally, Jurgen Klopp, with his mother passing away, all those things add up. And so for them to have this light at the end of the tunnel, at the end of the season, to have enough strength and courage, and they've been the best team in the Premier League over the last 2 months in terms of record domestically, they found a way to kind of regain some of that identity that we've known them for over the last couple seasons. They lost it a little bit because of a number of reasons, and they're there. They control their own fate on the last week of the season to get in the top 4. I really am impressed with Liverpool and just the character of the players and the club overall. So and they weathered the Super League stuff too, and there's just all this drama surrounding them in a lot of different ways. And so for them to kind of keep focused is really a testament to Jurgen Klopp and his managerial ability.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 goals came in the first half with Roberto Firmino just before the break. 1 goal in the first half just before the break, and then 2 in the second half with Nat Phillips. Well done, getting his goal there in the 52nd minute. And then AOC, Liverpool's AOC, Oxlade-Chamberlain got a goal late in that one. Mohamed Salah nearly got another one, but Burnley just about managed to get away with it. But Liverpool win 3-0. I mean, it was 20 shots, 59%. Pretty much got the job done. To your point, doing commendable.
I will say that the game really changed in the last 10 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Chris Wood's chance. Chris Wood had an unbelievable opportunity and somehow put that wide. I mean, the guy's been pretty good this season for Burnley, maybe one of their very, very, very few bright spots.
Yeah, he had a good little window.
He's in. All he has to do is hit it hard and low. Allison's not getting down, and it would have gone 1-0 up to Burnley before half. Instead, Liverpool survive and dodge a big bullet there. And then Bobby Firmino, they score a very good goal right before half. Imagine that halftime if it had been the opposite. 1-0, Burnley's up. That was a really fine margins in that game, especially in the first half. Second half, all Liverpool. But I think because they scored first, because they could walk in to halftime, relaxing a little bit because they scored first, I think that really lent itself to them being able to be themselves a little bit more and not be so tight going into the second half. And they were the better team in the second half. I will say, I'm pretty sure I told everybody to bet Liverpool to win the first half exactly 1-0. And guess
Well
what
done,
happened?
man.
That's
Well
what
done.
happened, everybody.
Just about, right? But well done. Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
I'll take it, no matter how it comes, Luis. We don't worry about the details.
It was 1-0 in the first half. That's all that we need to know.
That's all that matters. But yes, Chris Wood should have buried that chance, and that would have probably changed some things. I think, though, that Liverpool probably still, they deserve to win the game. But man, it's the fine margins, and they did enough. And let's be honest, we could probably argue Liverpool deserve a little bit of luck here towards the end of the season, and they're getting it, because not only are they getting it from their side, they're also getting some results to go their way as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And listen, this is a game about fortune, but it's also about taking your chances. And there were many moments in the season when it wasn't happening for them, et cetera. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that later on, specifically as we look ahead to the last match day. But it was a good win. And by the way, at the end of that game, Jurgen Klopp just like hugging everybody. Like, we were talking about it. Obviously, winning the Premier League is a big deal, but it just means so much to them, just everything that they have gone through. So well done to Liverpool. All right, some other games here in the Premier League, by the way, from today. Everton beat Wolves 1-0. Richarlison. Newcastle, Joe Willock. What is that, 6 goals now?
Six straight games.
Incredible. Well, I mean, yes, it's Sheffield United, but still Joe Willock doing his thing.
Alan Shearer, who? You know what I mean? Like, Joe Willock is the new Alan Shearer for Newcastle. Of course, his loan's going to end. He's going to go back to Arsenal, and Arteta won't let him go. But, we enjoyed him while we had him. And I'm excited that, that we won a couple games here at the end. No,
it was good. I mean, that the most important thing, of course, that victory. Arsenal beating Crystal Palace 3-1. So keeping their Conference League hopes alive. West Ham, they did go 1-0 down to West Brom, but they went 3-1 as well. So the Europa Conference for them as well. And Aston Villa, I'm telling you, man, I saw this whole game, completely bossed Tottenham. Okay. Should have had a penalty, first of all. Could have been more than that. By the end of it, we put our kids in. Okay. Our youth academy kids. I'm telling you. And the way that Harry Kane, I know we're going to talk about this, but the way that Harry Kane was saying goodbye to his stadium and his fans, he was very emotional. I mean, it seems that it's in the cards, Jimmy Conrad. 2-1 Villa against Tottenham.
Yeah, I don't even know where to go with this. I was pretty disappointed. Tottenham scored first, and Steve Bergwijn scored an excellent goal, and it was good pressure. And Sergio Reguilón, of course, is going to get slandered in some ways because
what a finish! Signing of the season for Villa,
for sure. I mean, he was Villa's best player, no doubt. But his header and his pressure actually set up the first goal, and then Bergwijn did very, very well to get that off his foot and basically put a hole through the net. At that point, you needed to see a little bit of Jose Mourinho type tactics to just kind of lock that down. And I still thought that, and maybe because Grealish was back in the team, surprisingly, I follow you obviously very intensely on Twitter. So I know when Grealish is, you're like, wow, yes. I didn't expect him to play.
Sorry about that. You can feel free to mute me.
No, never mute you. Lisa, our producer, might want to mute you or me at times, but
I think she already has to. Yeah,
that's true. But, I thought that with Grealish in, the team just seems to flow a lot better. I thought that the transition for Villa seems better, and it's clear when he's on the field, everybody starts to elevate their performance, and that's the type of player you have with Jack Grealish. I was just disappointed in Spurs. I've been disappointed with them all season. They didn't let me down on this one. I do think the Harry Kane stuff, we talked about it in the preview. What kind of mentality was that going to have? What kind of ripple effect of that announcement was that going to have? I'm sure the Spurs front office was pissed that it dropped the way that it did, and when it did. They've already acknowledged that, and now we're going to see. I mean, right now there's a lot of talk about Harry Kane, a straight swap, him for who? And I was trying to think before coming on, like who would they switch for? Who would Harry Kane actually switch for? I mean, obviously he's got ties to Pochettino and PSG. So I don't think Icardi wants to come back, but would you take Neymar? Would Tottenham fans take Neymar and then Harry Kane could go and they could get a proper number 9? That would be wild. It's never going to happen, but we can dream.
It could be amazing, couldn't it?
You never know. You just never know. So I'm kind of curious about the Harry Kane situation moving forward. I think he wanted to put his flag in the ground and state publicly that he was unhappy, and that was clear. And the team, basically followed suit. Like it's just a really listless performance in a game that they needed to win. And now, fair play to West Ham. I mean, Tottenham need to beat Leicester in the last day of the season. And West Ham are at home to I forgot who they're at home to, but Yeah, they're playing Southampton at home. And if they can't get a draw at home to get into the Europa League, then they don't deserve to be in the Europa League. So it's a big, big loss. And now Arsenal, if they win and Tottenham drop points, Arsenal will finish above Spurs, which would be even worse and harsh for Tottenham at this point. So we'll see.
There's a lot going on. Crazy. Yeah, there's a lot going on for Tottenham. I'll just say this. I did a quick thread on Harry Kane. I think, yes, obviously it would be detrimental, but I don't think that Spurs fans should think it. They should focus more on the fact that who's the manager that's coming in. I think that's the most important thing, because this club needs an identity change. This club needs a completely different culture. And if that means getting rid of Harry Kane and, bringing some money in and like building on whatever, then so be it. But whoever comes in, to me, is more of an important conversation than what happens to Harry Kane at this point. That's how important it is.
So I have a question for you and for everybody listening. You can let us know on social media what you think, because we can't hear you at the current moment. We should have a phone-in show at some point.
I would love that.
Well, yeah, it'd be nuts. So we get the crazies to call in, and I love the crazies, especially when they're super passionate. Do you think that if you're a new manager, would you rather take over Spurs when you're not in Europe, when you don't have to worry about that midweek pressure and you could really set your culture? Jose Mourinho is going to have that luxury with Roma for the most part, not in the Europa League and Champions League, probably the Conference League. And that could happen for Spurs as well with the Conference League. But would you rather have that, because it gives you a year without the spotlight as heavy and bright? Yeah. And then you can work through the Harry Kane stuff and maybe sell them and then go buy a couple more players that you probably need to help fill that void, to your point.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah, the answer is yes. Okay. I won't even say the other side then. Because I'm really curious. I'm really curious as to
what is there to lose? Because it's not just the fact that Tottenham will maybe not have any Europe, but it's also the fact that they don't have a face, they don't have a name, they don't have an identity. It's like, so that's more important to me, And if I were Tottenham, honestly, and I'm looking at managers and I'm saying, okay, who can I get? I would try my absolute hardest to get Diego Martinez from Granada. And just see, what can we do? What can we throw at him? This man creates an identity, creates a culture, and he creates resilience and grit and confidence, and he knows how to play, and he's smart. I mean, Mauricio Pochettino came to England, to Southampton from Espanyol, and then Tottenham realized, oh, yeah, that's a good one. Maybe do a similar thing. Do something like that. Maybe not necessarily Diego Martinez, but he's a perfect example of what I think they need. Because Hansi Flick's going to go to Germany after the Euros, right? I
actually heard Hansi Flick to Barcelona. Now, I'm not buying that smoke, but that's interesting. I never really thought about that. I do think, everybody.
Let me WhatsApp Fabrizio Romano and see if he can tell me.
What I do think is that we're going to see some crazy plot twists this summer, and I can't wait. Because we're going to get into it. And obviously, Fabrizio is going to know before everybody else, because that's what he's great at. Yeah. I will say that I guess if a manager wants to come in, it'd be nice to start at the lowest ground floor that you can, and that way you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. And so, yeah, I guess I wouldn't want to be qualified for Europe either, but it might be harder to attract a manager to do that. However, I did think you were going to say another Martinez, Roberto Martinez.
No, he also, a CBS colleague, so maybe he can give me 20% if we make it happen. But
he's coaching Belgium, so maybe after the Euros, that might be something. Yep. Maybe that he'll do what he's going to do, because that we could look at the Belgian national team and this is it. This is like the last big tournament for this golden generation, though.
But you see a trend here, though, right? You see the trend that I'm trying to get at here. You need somebody that goes in there and be like, this is how we're going to play, and this is what we're going to try and do. Why do you think we give so much praise to Marcelo Bielsa? It's not because he's eccentric or whatever. It's because he understands the city of Leeds. He gave them an identity. They responded to it, and voila. And that's exactly what Tottenham needs. No, I'm not saying it's going to be exactly like that, but it's about giving this team something to believe in, because they're nothing. They're just a nothing club in terms of who they are on the pitch. They're so reactive, and Mourinho made them uber reactive. Mm-hmm. And you can't do that when you have Harry Kane. And it's not just him, Heung-min Son, all these players. It's ridiculous.
They have to get somebody, though. I mean, I don't know if Diego Martinez is a big enough name, to be honest. I agree with you that would be.
But maybe that's the problem, Jimmy. Maybe it's there's so much focus on the big name and not on what you can actually bring to the table. I mean, I hear you. I'm trying to get it to the skulls of Tottenham fans. Success, although not immediate, the most important thing is to have a manager that creates a culture in your club. Because right now, you're just trying to do Band-Aid over gunshot wounds. And that was Mourinho as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But
Diego Martinez would be an inspired choice. I just don't. I think Daniel Levy, I don't know.
I'm not saying it's going to happen by any.
I would love it. I think, and if you gave him time, and I think not qualifying for the bigger competitions in Europe would give him a little bit of that one season ramp or runway to kind of create that culture that you're talking about. And then obviously he'd have to start performing in year 2. But
yeah, Frank Lampard.
That would be for the banter. I would love that. Sign me up for that. I'm trying to think who else is really out there. I mean, you have Ernesto Valverde, who has been pretty quiet since Barcelona.
Yeah, maybe.
He never really did much for me, but
I think that directors and owners sometimes are a little lazy in their manager search. I think they put a lot of stock into, what's their resume about? What's the hype about? Where did they manage last? And they don't think enough about, well, what are they actually bringing to the table? Mm-hmm. You know, and I feel like if they looked at Spain or even the Netherlands and Italy and Germany, of course, with the tremendous talent they have there, like they could do.
You know what? Stop. I got it for you.
Okay.
I got it. Okay. The up and coming manager, managed in France for a little bit, came to MLS. Pretty good player. Thierry Henry would be an amazing manager for Spurs. I'm done. I'm dropping the mic. Thanks for having me, everybody.
I thought you were going to say Remy Gard, to be honest. That would be amazing. Hey, listen, Fabrizio just messaged me. He said, no, my friend, no. In terms of Hansi to Barcelona.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a nice response. Nice and quick.
Nothing serious as of right now. Nothing serious as of now. So there's no legitimate interest as of now. But, that would be interesting, but no. All right. Well, listen, there were some other games as well. We talked about it. Andrea Pirlo winning Coppa Italia with Juventus against Atalanta 2-1. Juventus scored first. Atalanta tied it up. Federico Chiesa, what a player. Hit the post. Lovely back heel from Cristiano Ronaldo. But then Chiesa hits the post, but then he redeems himself. 2-1. And Pirlo has his first trophy with Juventus. What do you think?
Yes. No, I'm excited for Andrea Pirlo because of how much I respect him and respected him as a player. Obviously, a little uneven. Anytime you take a job with no experience, it's going to be a little bit tough. That said, I thought they looked really good. I actually thought this was one of Juve's best performances of the season. That they were really solid. I thought they managed when Atalanta did score. They still had some fight and almost like picked it up a level, right? That's the Juve that we kind of associate with over the last 5, 6, 7 years. That they're impenetrable. They laugh off adversity because they're just so good. They're so talented. They have so much confidence and belief in themselves. And I thought we saw a little bit of that, and that was cool. It might be too little, too late for Andrea Pirlo, especially if Zidane might be the person that's going to come in and take over. Yeah. But it is Juve's 14th Coppa Italia trophy, the most in the history of Italy. So congratulations to them for that. I will say, though, I'm a little sad for Atalanta. I just feel like Gasperini and all the hard work that him and his players have done and the club overall, they just don't have anything to show for it. It's tremendous that they're probably going to finish second in Serie A and going to qualify for the Champions League for the third consecutive year running when they have a budget that's not even close to all the other top 6 teams in Italy and around.
Well, you wanted a trophy for them. You wanted a trophy.
You did. You wanted to have them to. It's cool to say that you've done that, but if you don't have any hardware to show for it. So they were in the final 2 seasons ago. They lost. They've only won one, and it was back in 1963. It just would have been cool. It would have been a great story. When they got it to 1-1, I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe we're going to see Juve actually break because we've seen them break a little bit over the last couple months, and they didn't. They just bent, and they did what they needed to do. And
I got to give it to Juventus, Jimmy, by the way. They defended very well.
They were good. And Duvan Zapata had a couple good early chances, found himself in great spots, but couldn't take advantage. And I felt like the more that Atalanta kind of missed those early sniffs at goal, and they weren't clear-cut ones, but they were kind of these half chances. Yeah. That said, I will say Gigi Buffon, one of the greatest to ever do it, if not the greatest to ever do it between the sticks, started this game. And it was really cool to see. I mean, he's older than we are, I think, Luis. So it's just kind of cool to see,
combined.
Yeah. See some guy that should be playing in an over 40 league, winning Coppa Italia. It's pretty neat. So, and it's a good way for him to go out. That's going to be his last game for Juve, and for him to win a trophy is pretty special. So there's a lot of things to like about this Juve win, but it would have been cool to see Atalanta do it.
No, I totally agree. Nothing much more to say with that. So let's move to France for a second. Coupe de France. PSG finally beat Monaco 2-0. Kylian Mbappe on a terrible Monaco mistake, by the way, to capitalize and make it 1-0. Mauro Icardi got a goal as well. And this soothes the pressure, I guess, on Mauricio Pochettino as well, as he wins a trophy. And, still trying to win Ligue 1, but at least they get a trophy this week as PSG beat Monaco, Jimmy Conrad.
Well, very similar to Pirlo, was this enough? And this goes for you and for everybody listening. Was this enough for Pochettino to keep his job? He needed to win this one, in my humble opinion. He needed to have something to show for him being hired mid-season and that he could make this team a little bit better than where they were under Thomas Tuchel at that time, where I just think that had just kind of ended. Their relationship, the players and Tuchel, that just had come to an end. And obviously we're seeing a bit of a rebirth with Tuchel with some new players, and he's done very well, of course. But this is the 14th title for PSG in the Coupe de France, the most in French history. So 14 and 14, we got Juve and PSG winning the same number of cup titles. They have obviously a big game this weekend. They need Lille to trip up for them to have a chance to win Liga, but and I don't know if that's going to happen, but you never know. Last day of the season, anything, butterflies. I mean, I know we're going to get into it with our weekend preview at some point, not in this podcast, but maybe we can tease it a little bit. But I was really impressed. PSG, I thought their energy was good. They were missing a lot of players, Verratti, Neymar, a lot of guys that they lean on to help them have success. And I felt really bad for the Monaco defender. If you guys see the highlights of this one, he just got the ball past him from the goalkeeper at the top of the box. He took a big touch, bobbled, and Mbappe said, "Thank you very much," stole it from him, played it across to Icardi that tapped it in. As a former center back myself, it hurts me. Like if you're going to lose at anything, you just want to lose because the other team just played better that day, not because you handed it to him.
Yeah.
And I thought that first goal really did. And it was first half, so that just allowed PSG to really dictate the terms from there and could relax. And I just do, especially those teams that are always favored to win, when they score first, they're really hard to come back on. And they got a late one. Di Maria was excellent to set up the goal. And what a cheeky finish by Mbappe, who I thought was pretty dangerous all night. And I thought he deserved a goal. So fair play to PSG. I thought Monaco, this is the narrative we've had before, Luis, where Monaco had beaten Monaco had beaten PSG twice this season, and now this is the third time. And we both sat here going, and I think you said it, there's no way that Monaco can beat this team three times in the same season. And I feel the same way about Chelsea and Man City heading into the Champions League final. And that proved to be true. So we'll see if it ends up being true in the Champions League final. But fair play to PSG. I thought they were excellent. Yeah,
absolutely. And, just going back to your original question, is this enough for PSG ownerships and Mauricio Pochettino? Jonathan Johnson did say that even if they don't win Liga, Mauricio Pochettino is not really going to go anywhere, but you never know.
Never know, man. You never know.
You never know. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, like Jimmy said, we're just going to give you a very, very quick thoughts on what's coming up this weekend, because obviously it's the final day of the season in Europe in major leagues. And we just wanted to give a few thoughts, on what's coming up. So, Qué Golazo, we'll be right back. The NBA playoffs are about to begin. Join the Early Edge podcast every single day for the best bets, props, and futures for this year's postseason. Jonathan Coachman, Mike McClure, and Larry Hartstein won't lead you astray as they bring the best bets to your feed every morning in 15 minutes or less. You can find the Early Edge on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and even live on YouTube. And you know what happens every time I do an NBA playoffs plug. Go Knicks! Hey everybody, welcome back to Qué Golazo, our Thursday show. After this episode, by the way, it's our weekend preview, and it's our weekend preview looking ahead to the final day of the season.
It could be our biggest parlay of all time. I think there's like 37 teams and games we could choose from.
So partay with like 5 A's, Jimmy, is that what you're telling me?
Yes, we could win $1 million if we hit it all, Luis. I'm going to put $5 in to win $1 million. Let's go.
We're getting close, everybody. We're getting really close. But hey, by the way, just FYI, if you're like planning your weekend, La Liga is on Saturday. Okay, everything else is on Sunday because Eurovision takes precedent, which is fair enough. Very old. Established growing up in England, I remember just like how Eurovision would just be like crazy for some. It's kind of amazing. But yeah, just so you know. So Jimmy, today, just now, I just wanted to get some thoughts, really. Just very initial thoughts. We don't have to go into full analytical mode here, but in the Premier League, Liverpool, we discussed, obviously they take that 4th spot right now. Then it's Chelsea, then United, obviously, and Man City. Is it staying like that, do you think?
Yeah, I do think it'll stay that way. Chelsea, I mean, you probably can talk to me a little bit better about how you think Aston Villa is going to perform in that last game, especially having a big win today against Spurs. So maybe it flip flops. I mean, Liverpool could finish third, which would be unbelievable. Given
and they face Palace. We don't want to get into full analysis mode here.
No, I know. I can't help myself. I just love it. We're going to save it for the preview podcast. But I like the West Ham Southampton. I really do want to see David Moyes have that success and qualify for Europe. And I'm keeping my eye on Liverpool, of course. I mean, there's some good storylines here. I wish there was still a bit of a relegation scrap because I always like that side of things. But unfortunately, not in the Premier League.
Well, last year, nearly took half my life away. It was just absolutely ridiculous. But I agree. So it's really just the Champions League and the European places. La Liga, you think Atleti will take care of business here?
I think it's more of a hope. And I was going to potentially do something around it, but similar to you and maybe last season with Aston Villa, and I'm just going to roll up in a ball on the couch and probably not tweet anything and just pray because Atleti is going to be hard for them. I mean, it's pretty rare when Real Madrid and Barcelona both have a season where they've dropped off a bit, and this is that opportunity. So yeah, this is crazy, but they're taking on, it's what hurts me, Luis, is that they're taking on a Real Valladolid team that they haven't given up a goal to in the last 4 games. Like that's just a kiss of death. That means they're going to give up 5 to them or something crazy. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Yes, Atleti's going to win. Madrid will win as well, so they'll finish second. Barcelona will probably beat Eibar 17-0 when it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be tough. By the way, they might just need a draw too. But you want to go for the win? Obviously, this is Diego Simeone we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Finally, 2 more. Serie A, Champions League. Juventus getting this.
What's crazy about Juventus is that they need help from the team they just beat in the Coppa Italia final, Atalanta.
Yeah.
If Atalanta beats AC Milan, then Juve would leapfrog them. And then Milan maybe drops. It depends on what Napoli. Dude, I love Serie A right now. I mean, yes, Inter Milan won the league.
Napoli 4th, by the way.
It's crazy. 76, 76, and 75 in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And one of those 3 teams, either Milan, Napoli, or Juve, is not going to qualify for the Champions League.
Insane.
That's insane. So I look forward to breaking these down in a more meaningful way for our preview podcast.
Yeah, totally. Well, let's go to Liga for a second. Leo, they getting it down.
I want to say yes because Timothy Weah. I want to see another American international win a trophy. Zach Steffen did it. We saw Weston McKennie do it with Juventus in the Coppa Italia. Jonathan David, Canadian international. I want to see some North American representation dominating things in Europe. So I want to say yes. And ultimately, if PSG don't win, they only have themselves to blame. They dropped so many points along the way. So yeah, I want Lille to do it against Angers. But dude, I mean, we got Lille on 80, PSG on 79, Monaco on 77, and Lyon on 76. So that's the kind of league I want to see in every league around the world. Like coming down to the last weekend with so much at stake for all these teams is pretty.
Well, I'll tell you, of all the problems that Liga has had, financially, whatever, they're salivating at that. They wanted that because you want to get all the eyeballs at least on Liga and see what happens there. It's going to be very interesting. But as Jimmy said, the weekend preview is really going to get more down to the nitty gritty and the details and everything. We'll give you a good, fun parlay partay, betting tips, analysis, etc. So this was our episode. Jimmy Conrad, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
No, I just want to shout out to all the teams in the Copa Libertadores that are playing match day 5, if I'm not mistaken. Boca Juniors need to beat the strongest. That is the name of a club. And I love it. I actually want to go get the strongest jersey as soon as humanly possible because I just feel like my life will be better because of it. But yeah, shout out to Copa Libertadores. I love that competition.
Copa Libertadores is absolutely on. Boca Juniors, Barcelona SC, of course, as well. By the way, Always Ready is also playing today. What a name, man. I love it.
I love it too. Imagine trying to sell that to American fans. So wait. We're going to call our team the strongest. Always ready. Does that work for everybody? We're going to go with Always Ready. I mean, it's awesome. I'll tell you what. I'm here for it.
Always Ready better not ever have their bus come late to a stadium because
that's funny.
We're always ready, but now we're an hour late.
That's funny.
Anyway, so make sure that you tune in to Qué Golazo, Jimmy Conrad on Twitter as well as Instagram. Jimmy Conrad, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, LME. Always a pleasure.
Hey, everybody. I want to thank Jimmy Conrad for joining me today. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Qué Golazo Pod. We are also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, youtube.com/Qué Golazo. Please subscribe because all the episodes are right there. We're on CBS Sports. We're also on CBS Sports app as well. Have a great rest of your day.